we have Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, the Kenizzite. And being a descendant of Kenaz, he also has his brother, Kenaz. His brother had sons, Othniel and Sariah. But Caleb had sons as well, Uru, Elah, Nahum, and the son of Elah was Kenaz. Well, where do these Kenazes and this Elah come from? They actually come from the lineage of Esau. These names, Elah and Kenaz, take us back into Genesis chapter 36, where in the lineage of Esau, we find an Elah and a Kenaz, Caleb being a Kenizzite, a descendant of Kenaz.
Shalom. I'd like to start off by giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rahawadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS, better known as Great Millstone, who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect, the tabernacle of David. I'm your brother Matazabath, checking in again with another impromptu video. And this one is going to be entitled, Caleb, the spy, was not an Edomite. And what inspired me to do this video was I had a brother that reached out doing a TikTok live lesson I did a couple of days ago. And towards the end of the live, he came on a comment board and asked about this particular verse, Numbers 32 and 12. All right. And I spoke to him already in regards, but I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and make a video, a lesson, because there could be somebody else out there who don't know how to put the, the puzzle pieces together to prove that Caleb was an actual Israelite and not an Edomite. So this video, Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing, it will be edifying. So let's get into it. Now, the precept that the brother asked to break down was this particular one I have highlighted at verse 12, Numbers the 32nd chapter. And it reads, save Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, the Kenizzite, and Joshua, the son of Nun, for they have wholly followed the Lord Yahweh. Now, what people tend to do is when they go into the word Kenizzite, they automatically link it back to the Edomites. Now it says here, Kenizzite, descendant of Kenaz, descendants of Kenaz, right? And when you go into the Jacinius Hebrew Chaldee lexicon, it actually tells you, it says of a Canaanite nation. All right, so number one, there was a Canaanite nation of the name of Kenaz, all right, or Kenizzites, who abode is unknown. But then you also have in Genesis 15 and 19, all right, or Salakia, you have Canaanites or Kenizzite right here, as you can see, of the word. And then they give you the precepts, Numbers 32 and 33, and Joshua 14 and 6. Now, what happens is when you go into Jephunneh, which was his father, all right, it tells you here, Jephunneh, which means he will be facing a Kenizzite and father of Caleb, the spy from the tribe of Judah. All right. So it's actually telling you that Jephunneh was of the tribe of Judah. All right. But I'm going to show you why they link it back to Esau. Because when you go and type in Kenaz, all right, Salakia, it takes you to first precept, Genesis 36. It says, and the sons of Eliphaz, which was the son of Esau, were Teman, Omar, Zepho, and Gatam, and Kenaz. All right. And you had a nation, Kenizzites, from the stock of Esau, Edom. Now, the question is Kenaz, all right, or this Kenaz, with Jennifer being linked to the Kezanites, does he, in fact, go back to the Kenaz of Esau, Edom? Let's find that out. So when you go back to Numbers 32 and you look up that word Kenizzite one more time, notice here in Strong's definition, all right, it says a Kenizzite or descendant of Kenaz, all right, Kenizzite or Kenizzites. Now, if we go to the dictionaries, which I like to do from time to time, And let's try Easton's Bible Dictionary. Let's see what they give us. Now it says here, the name of a tribe referred to in a covenant the Most High made with Abraham. Genesis 15:19, they are not mentioned among the original inhabitants of Canaan, and probably they inhabited some part of Arabia. All right, then they give you number 2, a designation, give it to Caleb. All right, so that really doesn't tell us much, right? So let's try a different one. Let me see here. Let's try the International Standard Bible Encyclopedia. And I'm just showing you how I will research so you guys can get into the habit of learning how to look up things. All right, now the International Standard Bible Encyclopedia says the King James Version and Genesis 15:19 in a revised version. The British and American uniformly spell Kenizzite. The Kenizzites were the clan whose name father was Kenaz, which see, it says their land, along with that of their Canaanite tribes, was promised to Abram. To this clan belongeth Junaphe, the father of Caleb. Now they say here it had evidently been absorbed by the tribe of Judah. If the Kenizzites went down with Jacob into Egypt, they may have become identified with his family there. Now that's what they say, but we're about to cut all of that because I'm finna show you that they indeed came from the lineage and tribe of Judah. All right, because you had 3 different Kenaz. All right, you had when you look up Kenaz, let's see here if they have it, and if they don't have it, it's all good. No, they don't have it in this one. All right, so let me give you an example. When you go to Genesis, the 36th chapter, all right, and you look up, let's see here, what verse is that? Kenaz, verse 11, and we go to dictionaries. It should tell you, let's see here, this one in the Easton's Bible Dictionary says, a hunter, one of sons of Eliphaz, the son of Esau. He became the chief of an Edomitish tribe. This is what they try to link Caleb back to, because he was considered a Kenizzite, right? It also says Caleb's younger brother and father of Othniel, whose family was of importance in Israel down to the time of David. Some think that Othniel and not Kenaz was Caleb's brother. All right. And then also Caleb had a grandson named the same name. So you actually, in fact, have 3 different Kenazes in the Bible. This is why you have to learn how to track the lineage. All right. So now this is how you tell the difference. Let's go from there. And let's go to 1 Chronicles, the 2nd chapter. I'm going to show you something. This is 1 Chronicles chapter 2. Notice at the top it says the genealogy, 12 sons of Jacob. Now, pay attention to the verses I have highlighted. Verse 3 within this chapter clearly states the sons of Judah, right? The sons of Judah. Okay, you have Onan, and Shelah, which 3 were born unto him of the daughter of Shua, the Canaanitess. All right, because yes, an Israelite man can be with a heathen woman. And if that Israelite man has a heathen woman as a concubine, if it has a, Salaki, I said that wrong. If an Israelite man gets with the heathen woman who's a concubine and has children by her, those children are considered Israelites because the pedigree is determined by the house of the fathers. That goes back to Numbers 1:18. Okay. But as we continue to, go down the list here, it says, verse 4, and Tamar, his daughter-in-law, bare him Pharez and Zerah. All the sons of Judah were 5. The sons of Pharez, Hezron, and Hamal. All right, so we're still in the line of Judah. If we drop down to verse 9, all right, here's where it gets tricky. Notice it says genealogy of David. Well, what tribe did David come from? Tribe of Judah. Now here we have the sons of Hezron, which goes back to, all right, out of the sons of Pharez, right? So it says the sons also of Hezron that were born unto him, Jeremiel, remember that name, Ram, and Calabai. Now, here's what's interesting. When you look up the word Calabai, okay, notice this. Calabai, which means my caged one, son of Hezron of Judah, also called Caleb. Strong's definition, Calabai, an Israelite, but he was also called Caleb. Now, when you go into the root etymology, okay, Caleb simply just means dog, and it says the godly son of Jephunneh and a faithful spy who reported the promised land favorably and urged its capture. Son of Hezron and grandson of Pharez and great-grandson of Judah, and the father of Hur and the grandfather of Caleb, the spy. You see? So we're tracking the lineage. Now, when you drop, because remember, all right, his name is also called Caleb. All right, but here is Calebai, right? Now, we are still in the line of Judah, all right, because we're tracking David's lineage. When you drop down all the way to verse 42, it says, now the sons of Caleb, you see, the brother of Jeremiel, okay, which remember when we read, go back up to verse 9, the sons also of Hezron that were born unto him, Jeremiel and Ram and Caleb, pretty much, right? This is the same Caleb. Now watch what it says here in verse 42. Now the sons of Caleb, the brother of Jeremiel, were Misha, his firstborn, which was the father of Zip, and the sons of Merishah, the father of Hebron, right? Now, here's where the cherry on top comes. This same Caleb, who's the brother of Jeremiel, when you read verse 49, actually read verse 48, okay, when you continue to track the lineage, it talks about one of Caleb's concubine, okay, which is Makkah. She bare Sheba and Turhana. And verse 49, she bare also Shapah or Shap, Salakia, Sha'ap, the father of Madmanah, Shiva, the father of Mechbenah, and father of Gibeah. And Salakia, please forgive me for how I'm pronouncing these names. And it says, and the daughter of Caleb was Aksah. Now, here's something, all right, where this will bring it all home. Let's pay attention to this Caleb, whose daughter was Aksah. Now, if we go to, let's see here. Let's go to Judges 15, I think it is. Either 15 or 14. Let me see here. Let me just type it in real quick. If we go Joshua, yeah, let's go to Joshua 15 and 16. Okay. Now, show you that this is the same Caleb, all right, that spied out the land, okay, because he was given the inheritance, right? Now, let's start at verse 13. It says, and unto Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, he gave a part among the children of Judah, according to the commandment of Yahweh to Joshua, even the city of Arba, the father of Anak, which city is Hebron. And Caleb drove thence the three sons of Anak, Sheshai, and Aman, and Talmai, the children of Anak, or Anak. And he went up thence to the inhabitants of Debir, and the name of Debir before was Kirjathsepher. And Caleb said, he that smiteth Kirjathsepher and taketh it, to him will I give Aksah, my daughter, to wife. And Othniel, the son of Kenaz, which was the brother of Caleb, took it, and he gave him Aksah, his daughter, to wife. So he pretty much gave his nephew his own daughter, showing you that this is the same Caleb. Okay, going back to verse 13, that's the son of Jephunneh, right, who was a Kenzanite, which proves that he was from the tribe of Judah. So when you go to Numbers, let's end it on here. All right, when you go to Numbers 13 and 6, okay, it says, of the tribe of Judah, Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, proving and showing you that he indeed was from the tribe of Judah. He was not from the Edomite tribe. He was not an Edomite. He was a Judite. Right? Let's go from there to Numbers 34 and 19. Okay. It says, and the names of the men are these, of the tribe of Judah, Caleb, the son of Jephunneh. Okay. Now, also to add to the lesson, all right, because when you go back to Numbers 32 and verse 12, all right, let's read it again. It says, save Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, the Kenizzite, all right, people will still get caught up, even though we just proved that he was a Judite. But why is he getting called a Kenizzite? Because remember, you had Israelites that were dwelling in the other lands of the heathen. Okay. And an example of an Israelite not being called an actual Israelite from his tribe, but being called something else is, let's get an example. Let's get, what's that? Joshua or Salakia. Let's get Deuteronomy, the 26th chapter, where it talks about Jacob being called a Syrian. All right. This is Deuteronomy chapter 26 and verse 5. It says, and thou shalt speak and say before Yahweh thy power, a Syrian ready to perish was my father. And he went down into Egypt and sojourned there with a few and became there a nation, great, mighty, and populous. Now, who was this Syrian ready to perish? All right. Let's look it up. All right. It says here at the top, a Syrian, Jacob, being called a Syrian from his long residence in Padanaram, which is pretty much Syria. Because what? He was told to go to Padanaram to take a wife. So by him living in Padanaram, I think it was a total of 14 years. I'm not sure. One of you brothers can correct me if I'm going off. But basically, you know, he stayed there because he did work for his uncle, Laban, all right, to get his wife, Rachel, which, you know, Laban tricked him and gave him his firstborn daughter. And then he stayed another 7 years of completion to take Rachel, who he really loved. But he was called a Syrian. All right. Another example is you had Uriah, the Hittite. All right. 2 Samuel 11 and 3. And David sent and inquired after the woman. And one said, is not this Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite? Okay. But Uriah was an Israelite. Okay. You also have the what's that? Mark 7, New Testament. You have the Syrophoenician woman. Okay. Which Syrophoenician goes back to you had Phoenician and Zidon, I believe it was around that region. But verse 26, it says the woman was a Greek, a Syrophoenician by nation. All right. But she was an actual Israelite foreigner. Now, when you go into the topic, you know, dealing with Syrophoenicia, all right, it tells you, Salakia, I said Zidon. I was actually thinking of Tyre. It's actually Tyre. But it says here a Greek, a Syrophoenician by nation, okay, i.e. a Gentile born in the Phoenician part of Syria. There you go. That's why it was known as Syrophoenician. When the Greeks took over that land, they named this Syrophoenician, which is a part of which Phoenician being a part of Syria. You see? Now it say a Gentile born, but it's not really talking about a Gentile heathen. It's actually talking about Israelites, because you had Israelites dwelling within that region, if you understand the history. Okay, so in this case, this woman, this Syrophoenician woman, she was an actual Israelite foreigner. Israelite foreigners were called Gentiles, or also they were known as strangers, or they were known as Greeks, which when you go into the word Greek, it goes back to Helen. Why? Because you had something that was called the Hellenization of the Jews. Read the book of Maccabees to get that history. Okay, so when you deal with, you know, history, you have to take into account you had Israelites that were dwelling in heathen names, and they were called after growing up. They were called by that nationality of that particular land. Okay, so this would have been a case for, you know, Caleb, you know, being called a Kenizzite. All right, because, you know, they may have been dwelling within those lands during that time. As the scripture says, when you follow the history, when he went to spy the land, you had a group of Canaanites called the Kenizzites. You can look that up. All right. Matter of fact, I'll do you one better. And I'm probably going to spell it wrong, but actually, let me go in here so I can get the right spelling. And let's see if we can find that precept. Let's copy that and let's see if it comes up. That's not what I wanted to do. Salakia, let's do this again. And let's just see what precepts. It might be I've spelt it wrong, but let's see. Yep, here you go right here, Genesis 15 and 19. Now, when you go into verse 18, it says, in the same day, Yahweh made a covenant with Abram, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. And what land do you think he was talking about? He was talking about the land of Canaan, which today is known as Israel. But here's the point, verse 19, the Kenites and the Kenizzites and the Edomites and the Hittites and the Perizzites and the Rephaims and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Girgashites and the Jebusites. Those are all Hamitic tribes, man. See, even you had a Hamitic tribe by the name of Kenizzites, just like Esau, Edom had a tribe named Kenizzites that went back to one of his sons, Kenaz. And then, you know, last but not least, when you get First Chronicles, the 4th chapter, all right, when you deal with the line of Asher, which verse is it? Yeah, right here, verse 15, which I think we already read. In the sons of Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, Iru, Elah, and Naam, and the sons of Elah, even Kenaz. All right, so you had 3 different Kenazes, man. And this is why it you know, behoove you to, as the scripture says, study to show thyself approved. And see, when you get into these lineages and you study the genealogies, it's easy to put 2 and 2 together. Okay, but what gave it away, what helped us was what was that, Joshua the 15th chapter, showing you that Caleb indeed was from the tribe of Judah. Okay, so, you know, that's all I wanted to get into. Lord's will, this was edifying. So, you know, the next time, if any of you stumble across somebody that brings up Numbers 32 and 12 to try to say that, oh, well, why is it that, you know, Caleb was a Kenizzite, to proving that he was another heathen from a different nation, and then they try to link it back to Esau, Edom. Now you know how to cut them by you know, putting the precepts together, proving that Caleb was actually from the tribe of Judah. Because there's no way, and keep in mind, this is in the Old Testament. This is when they was just given the covenant. We're in the book of Numbers. They got the covenant when the book of Exodus. The covenant wasn't given to no other nation but Israel. So why the hell, when it came to inheritance, okay, that the Lord was going to say, right, okay, well, I'm going to take this descendant from one of the Edomite tribes of the Kenizzites, and I'm going to give him the land because he's the only one that obeyed. You see how retarded that sounds? The Lord wasn't dealing with no heathens then, and he damn sure ain't dealing with no heathens now. Okay, that's not how it goes down, man. Okay, so with that, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem Rakakwadash. Oh, and by the way, before I forget, if you want to look up what we had to do in terms of inheritance, read this chapter here, Numbers 36, and start at verse 6 and read verse 9, and it'll tell you about the inheritance, what we had to do to keep the inheritance by the tribes of our fathers. Hence the reason why Caleb could not have been an Edomite tribe, because the inheritance cannot be passed on to different tribes. It has to remain within the tribe of the same father. Okay, so with that, all praise to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS, better known as Great Millstone, who rule well, and peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect. Shalom.